Hello, welcome to session 8 on semiconductor physics. In this session, we are going to discuss wave shaping circuits. There are broadly two types of circuits that we are going to discuss. They are clippers and clampers. And in both these cases, in each of these cases, we will be discussing separately positive and negative and biased, which means we are going to see how we can construct positive clipper, negative clipper and biased clipper, and positive clamper, negative clamper and biased clamper. So we'll begin with the clipping circuit. So this is a circuit which is referred to as the positive clipper circuit. And I would just like to tell you in the beginning itself what is the purpose of a clipping circuit. A clipping circuit will accept an AC waveform and it will clip or it will cut that AC waveform from a particular level. So in this case, this one is referred to as unbiased clipper or just positive clipper. And you can see the input is actually AC, which is shown in the diagram on top, the graph, whereas the output is similar to the rectifier output. The positive portion has been completely removed or cut away. So that type of a circuit is referred to as a positive clipper. The entire positive part of the input wave has been removed. But it is not the same as the rectifier. Whatever you can see on the slide is one possible way in which you can construct a positive clipper. You have got one diode and we have got one resistor. This is only one way in which you can connect. In this circuit, we are giving the input, which is represented here as using the AC symbol, and it is also written as V0V, which means the AC voltage has got a peak value of V, which will mean on positive side it will go to positive V, and to the negative side it will grow up to negative V, which means the maximum value or the peak to not maximum value, the peak to peak value is 2 times V. So that is the input which we are giving, and it is given to the diode, and it is connected parallel to the diode, and the output will be measured across the diode between the 2 points represented as number 1 and 2. So that these are the 2 points across which we will connect the CRO to examine the waveform. So this is, for example, we have this signal, which is the input, is given to the diode in such a way that they both are parallel to each other. Therefore, this circuit is referred to as shunt positive clipper. Shunt means parallel. Whereas this is only one option. You can also connect the diode at the place where I have shown the resistor here. So in that case, the source is connected in series with the diode. So that will act similar to the rectifier, and in that case also our objective will be met. It will be removing one half of the input. So that is also a possibility, but since I don't want you to get confused between the rectifier circuit and the clipper circuit, I don't want to deal with the series clipper circuit, so we will just be considering shunt clippers. We don't discuss series clippers. So shunt clipper is this one. So this is referred to as a shunt positive clipper. So now let us see how this will work. We are giving an AC input at whatever the AC symbol is drawn here, so that is the input. So there is a resistor in the circuit that is to limit the current flowing through the diode so that it will not damage the diode, and we will be measuring the output across the diode. Now how we are going to explain it is, we will see what will happen to the diode during the positive cycle and negative cycle. So during the positive cycle, the input source has got the polarity represented as shown in the figure. Top portion will be positive, so that will obviously make the diode forward biased. So in that case, the diode will be conducting current through it, And now I'm going to explain it assuming that it is an ideal diode, which means it will not dissipate any voltage across it. Whenever the instant when it is forward biased, it will begin to conduct current, and there is no voltage drop across the diode. So when the diode is forward biased, current is flowing smoothly through the diode, which means there is no dissipation of voltage across the diode. So when we measure the output across the diode between the points 2 and 1, what we actually do is we are measuring the voltage across the diode. Since there is no voltage drop, since we have assumed that it is an ideal diode, the voltage measured at this instant will be 0. So that means whenever the diode is forward biased, the voltage measured across the diode will be 0. So correspondingly you can see the graph which represents the output from the clipper circuit. The entire positive cycles have been clipped away, because during that time your diode is forward biased and it is conducting current without dissipating any voltage across it. So the output device will measure 0 voltage across the diode. So that is what is happening during the positive cycle, whereas during the negative cycle the polarity will be reversed. Top of the source will become negative. So that obviously mean your diode will be reverse biased. When the diode is reverse biased, it is acting like a open switch. It cannot conduct current. So what does that mean is whatever be the input voltage, it will be just stuck in between the two leads of the diode. So when you try to measure the voltage across the diode, what we are going to see is it is like an open circuit. In the place of the diode, it is like an open circuit. So whatever is your input, you will be able to measure between the points 1 and 2. So that is what is happening during the negative cycles. During the entire negative cycle, the diode will be reverse biased, which means the output device will be measuring whatever is present in the input. So just like the input is varying from a 0 value to maximum negative value, then again to 0, and so on, it goes like that. So that entire waveform will be appearing at the output when you display it in CRO. So ultimately what we have is the entire positive half cycles have been removed, and the negative half cycles will be appearing exactly the way in which it appeared in the input. So that is what we refer to as the shunt positive clipper, assuming that your diode is ideal. Ideal means it doesn't have any barrier potential, it doesn't dissipate any voltage across it. Okay. Now, but in actual practice, all these diodes are not ideal. They are real diodes. So when we have to make small changes in the output wave shape, assuming if you assume that it is a real diode. What is a real diode? It actually has got a potential barrier, which means current will not immediately begin to flow just because you have forward biased. So during forward bias, it will actually use an amount of voltage to overcome the potential barrier, and that is referred to as the knee voltage. So depending on the type of diode that you are using, in all these circuits I am assuming that our diode is made up of silicon. So that means the barrier potential or the knee voltage of silicon is 0.6 volt. So what does that mean? When the diode is forward biased, it will use a voltage equal to 0.6 from the source, and only the rest of the voltage will be making some current flow through the diode. So that means if you measure voltage across the diode using CRO, that CRO will show this whatever is its potential barrier or the knee voltage, that you will be able to measure. So whenever all throughout the instance or all throughout the period in which the diode is forward biased, you will be able to measure 0.6 voltage across the diode if it is made up of silicon. So what is the difference in our output is what is shown in the diagram, in the graph, in the bottom graph. Earlier we had 0 voltage whenever the diode was forward biased. That means during the positive cycle. But now when we have the real diode, instead of 0 voltage, it will show this 0.6 voltage, which is the barrier potential. So that is the case of real diode, but the rest of the thing, whatever it happens during the reverse biased state, since it is open, there is this potential barrier is not getting reflected there, or it is not relevant when the diode is reverse biased. So whatever we got as the in the output during the reverse bias stage of the diode will be exactly as we discussed in the previous slide. So to sum up, you have got the outputs like this. The clipping is not at the zero value, but the clipping is taking place at a level which is equal to positive 0.6 volt if the diode is silicon diode. Now that gives you an idea about how you'll have to modify your circuit in order to do the clipping at a specific value. So in the case of positive clippers, if you redesign the circuit so that it will clip at a level which as per our requirement, then these type of clippers are referred to as biased clippers. So this is an example for positive biased clipper. Suppose I want, our input voltage is from V to 0 to 0. That means our peak to peak value was 2V. So suppose I want, and suppose that V, or the peak value, suppose it is equal to 10 volt. And if you want to clip the waveform at positive 5 volts, what do we have to do? So that is what you can, from the previous explanation of how this potential barrier is going to affect your clipping level. Using that, you will get a clue what we have to do in order to do the clipping at a desired level. So this is an example. What we do is, you just have to remember that whenever the diode is forward biased, it can be replaced by a battery. But how do we connect the battery? So in this circuit, the P region is on the top side and the N region is in the bottom part. So if it is forward biased, you can remove that diode in the equivalent circuit, and there you can draw a battery. But when you draw the battery, you will have to keep the polarity of the battery in such a way that the positive plate of the battery is in the same direction as that of the P region of the diode. That means when you draw the equivalent battery in this circuit, the positive plate of the battery should be above and the negative plate should be below, and the potential of that battery will be equal to 0.6 volt. Now so in that case, the clipping will take place at positive 0.6 volt. Now what do I have to do if I want to clip this waveform at positive 5 volt? Already, since because of the presence of the diode, the clipping is taking place at 0.6 volt. So that means if I can connect an extra battery, and if I adjust the potential of that battery, then I will be able to clip the waveform at a particular value. So if a 5 voltage, positive 5 voltage is the level at which I want to clip, then all I have to do is I'll have to connect another battery in series with it in such a way that its potential is equal to 4.4. So that already I have got 0.6 because of the diode and 4.4 from the extra battery. So together it will make 5 voltage. So in that case, the clipping will take place at positive 5 voltage. So that is what is shown here. So you have got some battery whose voltage is V, and you have got the diode which is acting like a battery when it is forward biased with voltage 0.6. So the total voltage at which the clipping level will take place is V plus 0.6. So I have drawn this straight line parallel to the x-axis, which means that is the level at which clipping will take place. So the output will look like this. The entire portion above this particular level, V plus 0.06, V plus 0.6 will be removed, and the entire portion below will be appearing. So you will have to, when you draw this type of output, you will have to keep in mind that only the output in the output only the waveform above a particular level will be removed, but the rest of the portion in which which we will have to retain, it will have to maintain the shape. For example, it is just what is happening is that you just cut it from a particular level, and whatever shape is below in the input, that should be exactly reproduced in the output. So this is a good idea to make a clipping level at a required value. So this is referred to as a positive biased clipper. You just have to adjust the voltage of the battery that you connect, and you will have to connect the battery like this, as shown in this diagram on top. You have got a diode and you are connecting the battery in series with it. In series in the sense, if the diode is also going to act like a battery, then that battery and this extra battery that you are connecting, both should be in series. Now we will see shunt negative clipper. All what you have to do is just reverse the direction in which you have connected the diode. Earlier, for the positive clipper, the diode was looking downward, or it was sending current in the downward direction. You just have to invert the diode so that it will conduct current in the upward direction or in the counterclockwise direction. So the explanation is as before. You don't have to, whenever the diode is forward biased, that particular half cycles will be removed from the output, and whenever the diode is reverse biased, the all those half cycles will be exactly appearing at the output. So this is the, so in this case, this diode will be forward biased during the negative half cycles. Therefore the entire negative half cycles have been removed and the clipping takes place at zero level, assuming that the diode is ideal. But in actual practice, diodes are not ideal. So what is happening is that when the diode is forward biased, that means during the negative cycle, this potential barrier will be there. So this diode is going to act like a battery whose voltage is 0.6 for a silicon battery, silicon diode. And that battery, how is that battery connected? This battery, you will have to replace this diode D1 with a battery in such a way that the negative of the battery should be in the upper part, and the positive of the battery should be in the lower part. But when we measure the output, you are connecting the CRO in such a way that the earlier I marked it as 1 and 2. So 1 was above, and the top portion, the positive of the CRO should be connected to the N region of the diode, and the negative part of the CRO should be connected to the P region of the diode. But that diode will be measuring, that CRO will be measuring the voltage across the diode, and that is going to act like a battery which whose polarity is reverse that of the way in which we have connected the CRO. So obviously CRO will be measuring a voltage equal to negative 0.6. So that is what is shown in the diagram. So this V that the CRO is going to measure is 0.6 voltage. So the clipping level for this negative shunt clipper is when the diode is real diode is negative, the level at which clipping takes place is negative 0.6 volt for silicon diode. Now that also gives you an idea about how to construct the negative biased clipper in order to clip a waveform at a desired value of negative voltage. All that you have to do is you just connect another extra battery in series with the diode, assuming that the diode, when forward biased, will be replaced by a battery whose polarity will be matching with the way in which the P region and N region appeared in the circuit. So the diode is acting like a battery of 0.6 volt with its negative plate in the upper part and positive plate below. So that means when you connect the extra battery, you will have to connect it in series as shown here. So together it will make 0.6 plus V. So the level at which the voltage clipping will take place is negative V minus negative V minus 0.6, or you just take V plus 0.6 and give a negative sign. So that is the level at which the clipping will take place, and your waveform will look like this. Okay, so that is about negative biased clipper. Now we'll move on to the clamper circuit. Clamping is just like, in this case we are using a diode and a capacitor. So you'll have to remember the way in which we explained the working of voltage multipliers. In that case also we were using a branch in which we have got one capacitor and one diode each. Clamping, the objective of a clamper circuit is to raise or lower the waveform and clamp it at a particular level. Clamping is, when we normally say clamping, as you do in cantilever experiments, you are clamping something, which means you're fixing it somewhere so that it will remain there stationary. So here the clamping means you are raising or lowering the waveform and you are clamping it at that particular voltage level. So if you are raising the waveform, then it is referred to as a positive clamper, whereas if you are lowering it, it will be a negative clamper. So now this is a circuit for a positive clamper. You have got the input which is centered at the 0 voltage value, and the peak value is Vm. So on either side it is symmetric, it goes to positive Vm and negative Vm on either side. And whereas when it goes through the circuit and when it comes out of the circuit, you can see it has been raised and the trough is resting at 0 value. Right, so that is referred to as a positive clamper, and for a positive clamper the clamping level is the level at which you have got the trough. So in this case the waveform has been raised and it has been clamped at 0 voltage. Okay, now I'll just explain how this will work. When this whenever the diode is forward biased, that means during the negative half cycle, the diode will be forward biased and it will conduct current through the capacitor. The current will be flowing in the counterclockwise direction. Therefore, the right plate of the capacitor will be positive and the left plate will be negative. And when the capacitor is fully charged, it will acquire a potential equal to Vm, which is the maximum possible voltage available from the input sine wave. Okay, thereafter this capacitor will act like a battery of voltage Vm. Now what we have to do is we just replace this capacitor and you draw a battery there, and then we will begin to analyze from 0 of the input voltage. It increases and reaches Vm and again decreases, reaches 0, goes to the negative side and reaches the maximum, which is negative Vm, and thereafter comes back to 0. So during this entire complete cycle, what will happen to the diode and how much will be the output that you can measure across the diode, which is marked here as VO. So that actually you will be measuring in parallel to the diode. We have got a load resistance also, so that you can connect your CRO across the load resistance to display the outputs. So we will just begin with the 0 value and assume that it is going to increase. So that is actually our positive cycle. So during the positive cycle, your diode will be reverse biased, right? So when the diode is reverse biased, it will just display whatever input is coming here, coming across it. The exact voltage will be shown in the output measuring device as well. So when your voltage Vi is 0, what we have is, we assume that it is positive cycle. That means top of the source will be positive and the bottom of the source will be negative. So actually positive of the source is connected to negative of the capacitor, which is now acting like a battery. So that means your input Vi and your capacitor both are in series, right? So all you have to do is just add these two voltages. Whatever be the value of the voltage that you have at any instant, to that you just add Vm. So that will be the available voltage. But due to that, your diode will be actually reverse biased, which means that entire voltage will be displayed at the output. So when your input is 0, that means 0 plus Vm is our net voltage available in the circuit, but your diode is reverse biased. So that voltage will be measured by the device, output device as such. So your output voltage will be Vm. When your input is 0, your output is Vm. Next we will reconstruct, find out how much will be the output voltage when your input is Vm, positive Vm. So positive Vm, so these two input and capacitor are in series, so that will make Vm plus Vm 2 Vm. So when the input is Vm, your output will be 2 Vm. Again we will come to this point, which is the 0 value. So at 0 value of input, your output is Vm. Then we go to the negative input. When the input becomes minus Vm, your total voltage is minus Vm plus Vm, which is actually 0. So your output will be 0. Then again we have got one more point, which is the extreme right point in the wave, which is actually the instant at which your input is 0. Correspondingly your output will be Vm. So I have drawn on the right side the output waveform, by completing, we have got reconstructed 3 points when the input was 0, and 2 points when the input was positive maximum and negative maximum. So you got altogether 5 points now we have drawn in the output waveform, and then you just have to preserve that shape of the input wave, because it is not going to change the shape of the wave. It is just going to raise or lower. So you, whatever be the shape in the at the input, you just reconstruct by joining these 5 points, and you will be getting your output waveform, and you can see that it has been raised and its trough is now resting at the 0 value. So that is what we refer to as a positive clamper. It has raised positive unbiased clamper. What it does is it just has raised the waveform, and now it is resting at 0 value, or our clamping level is 0 voltage. Now we will see the negative clamper. When we have got the negative clamper, you have to just reverse the direction in which you connect the diode. Now just to, if you are confused about the way in which you will have to connect the diode, just keep in mind that if you want to raise the waveform, your diode arrow should be in the upward direction, whereas if you want to lower the waveform, your diode arrow should be like this, in the downward direction. So other than that, your circuit is the same. Only thing is that you will have to be careful about the polarity of your capacitors, because in both these positive and negative clamper circuits, you will be making use of electrolytic capacitor, which means it has got two distinct positive and negative leads, and you didn't go wrong in the way in which you have to connect it. So in this case, your current is going to flow through the diode D when it is forward biased in the clockwise direction, which means left side of the capacitor will be positive and right side of the capacitor will be negative. Okay, so as before, we can explain. You have, for example, when your input is 0, during the positive cycle, what happens is that top of your source is positive and the bottom of your source is negative, but left side of the capacitor is positive and right side of the capacitor is negative. So that means during the positive cycle, the input Vi and the battery, which is provided by the capacitor, they are acting in the opposite direction. So they will just, in order to find out the total voltage, you will have to take the difference between the input voltage and the voltage appearing across the capacitor. So what we have is, when your input is 0, your output will be 0 minus Vm. So the output will be at minus Vm value. So like that you can go on as before. You can find out the voltage corresponding to these 5 points. Whenever your input is 0, your output is minus Vm. So those 3 points can be marked in the graph, and then you just have to find out how much will be your output voltage when the input is positive Vm. See, when the input is positive Vm, your output will be Vm minus Vm, which is 0. So that is here. You can see when your input is positive Vm, your output is 0. Similarly, when your input is minus Vm, your output will be minus Vm, which is negative 2 Vm. So that is also marked in the diagram, and you just join all these 5 points, preserving the shape of the input waveform, and you will be getting the output. And now you can see that your entire waveform has been lowered, and its crest is now resting at the 0 value, and that is what we refer to as a negative clamper. And the clamping level of a negative clamper is specified to be the voltage at which the crest will stand. So this clamping level in this unbiased negative clamper is 0 voltage. Okay. Now that gives you an idea about how to design a positive clamper. For that, let me explain how this output will become different when you assume that the diode is real. So when the diode is real, what happens is that you will have to replace it, or you will have to assume that there will also be a battery. And the way in which, so when the diode is forward biased, as I explained earlier, this potential barrier is present there. So that much voltage will actually be dissipated across the diode, and so therefore diode can be replaced by a battery, and or you can draw it like this: diode and a battery together. But the way in which you have to draw the plates is exactly the way in which you have drawn the p region and n region. So this is the equivalent circuit. A potential barrier of VB will be dissipated across the diode. So that is the situation. Now when the diode is forward biased, it will send a current in the counterclockwise direction, and that will make the right plate of the capacitor positive, and it will acquire after complete charging, it will acquire a potential equal to Vm. Now we will examine how our output is going to be, and we will start with the negative Vm. So negative Vm, when the input is in the maximum negative value, which is minus Vm, the polarity of the source Vi will be like this. Below it will be positive and the upper part of the source will be negative, and it has got a maximum voltage equal to Vm. So if you examine the way in which the capacitor, which is now acting like a battery, it is connected to the source, you can see they are opposite to each other, so they will be cancelling each other. So when the input is a maximum minus Vm, the net voltage available from source and the capacitor is 0. Okay, so that means at that point your diode, you just examine the diode is actually reverse biased. So that means whatever voltage is appearing across the diode, that we will be able to measure at the output. But here your input voltage is 0, so we don't talk about reverse bias or forward bias. But what we have is the input source is not there. So when you measure at the output, see, the CRO will be connected across the load resistance R, and the polarity of the CRO will be like this: top will be positive and bottom will be negative. But what is it going to measure? It will measure the voltage across the diode, which is actually the potential barrier. But how is that potential barrier? It is actually the battery is in such a way that the bottom part is negative, to which we have bottom part of the VB battery is positive, to which we have connected the negative of our CRO. So that means the CRO is going to measure the potential barrier 0.6 voltage with the negative sign. So that means when your input is minus Vm, your output will be minus 0.6 volt, and that is shown here in the output waveform. You have got a line parallel to x-axis at minus 0.6 voltage. That will be the value that you will be able to measure at the CRO when your input is minus Vm. So earlier what we had is, when we assume that the diode is ideal, when the input voltage was minus Vm, our output was 0. But now what we have is, it is at minus 0.6 voltage instead of being at 0. So the trough is now at minus 0.6 volt. Earlier it was at 0 voltage. So what happened is that the trough has gone down from the situation that we obtained assuming the diode to be ideal. So when the trough is going down by 0.6 voltage, all what we have to do is the entire waveform should go down. So what does that mean? Earlier when our input was 0, our output was Vm, right? But now our output will become Vm minus 0.6. Okay, similarly our peak value, the maximum value or the position of the crest will be, earlier it was at 2 Vm, but now it should be at 2 Vm minus 0.6. So what we have is, the positive side is from 0 to 2 Vm minus 0.6, whereas the negative side is from 0 to negative 0.6. So the total voltage will be 2 Vm itself, because it does not change the shape or size of the waveform. Only thing is that there will be a shift. Okay, So this is how how we like to represent the change in the waveform when you assume that the diode is real. So this is also, see, compared to the our input waveform, the output waveform has gone up. So whether it has gone up or down, we will be predicting it with respect to the zero line, which we call the baseline. Earlier your VM, the trough was at minus Vm value, but now the trough has gone up and now it is clamped at minus 0.6 voltage. Okay, so this is a positive clamper. When you assume that the diode is real diode made up of silicon, the clamping will take place at minus 0.6 volt. Okay. Now that gives you an idea about how to connect or redesign your circuit in order to clamp the waveform at a desired value. So when you assume that your diode is acting like a battery of 0.6 voltage, that is actually the clamping level for the positive clamper. So if you want to clamp, for example, at 5 voltage, what we have to do is connect an extra battery in series with the battery provided by the diode. So when the diode is acting like a battery, this is the way in which its polarity will appear in the circuit. Positive plate will be lower side and negative plate will be on the upper side. So you just have to connect an extra battery. Here actually I haven't drawn the battery which you have we can replace for the diode. I haven't drawn it, but that is exactly the way in which I explained in the previous diagram. But this V is actually an external battery whose voltage we'll have to adjust depending on the clamping level that we require. For example, if you want to clamp the waveform, suppose your input Vm was 10 voltage, so that means your input will go to positive 10 and negative 10. Okay, so that your peak to peak value is 20 voltage. So if you want to clamp it at minus 5 voltage, what we have to do is connect an extra battery whose voltage is equal to 4.4 volt, so that together with the silicon diode it will count up to 5 voltage, and that is the level at which your clamping will take place. Okay, so that is how we do the clamping. And the clamping level in this circuit, in this particular circuit, it is a positive clamper which will clamp the waveform at V plus 0.6 with a negative sign. Okay. Now similarly you just have to connect for the negative biased clamper. All what you have to do is you connect a battery in this circuit like this. See, just like you'll have to explain the way in which working of this unbiased clamper we explained. You just have to add this battery and specify that the clamping will be taking place at V plus 0.6 voltage. So in this diagram, the clamping level should be specified with respect to the position of the crest. So the waveform has come down and it has been clamped at a level equal to positive V plus 0.6.